Imagine transforming your entire life in just 1 week. Sounds impossible, right? Well, I'm about to share 5 simple yet powerful habits that did exactly that for me. These aren't your typical self-help cliches. They're raw, practical, and rooted in timeless Stoic wisdom. From waking up to a peaceful sunrise to finding clarity in a single mindful bite. These habits rewired my mind, body, and soul, and they can do the same for you. So, grab a cozy spot, hit that subscribe button, and let's dive into a journey of small changes that spark massive results. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. Habit 1. Waking up early, the game-changing shift that rewired my life. Hey there! Welcome back to this journey of transformation. Today, I'm beyond excited to kick things off with the very first habit that flipped my world upside down in the best possible way. Waking up early. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, "Oh great, another morning person preaching at me," hear me out. I wasn't always this way. In fact, I was the complete opposite. My bed was my sanctuary. My alarm clock was my enemy, and mornings? They were a blurry, chaotic mess. But then I took a leap of faith, set my alarm for 5 a.m., and gave it a real shot for 1 week. Let me tell you, it wasn't just a habit, it was a revolution. By the end of this, I promise you'll see why those quiet, early hours might just be the secret sauce you've been missing. So, grab your coffee, get comfy, and let's dive into how waking up early became the cornerstone of my life's transformation. The struggle was real. Why mornings used to hate me. Let's start with a little confession. I used to be the poster child for late risers. My mornings were a frantic scramble. Snooze button on repeat, clothes thrown on in a panic, and a breakfast, if you can call it that, gulped down while I dashed out the door. I'd stumble into my day feeling like I was already behind, stressed out before I'd even started. Sound familiar? I'd tell myself, I'm just not a morning person. As if that was some unchangeable fact carved in stone. The truth? I'd never really given mornings a fair chance. I'd built this cozy little narrative that I thrived at night, but looking back, those late night hours weren't productive. They were just procrastination dressed up as deep thinking. Then one day I hit a breaking point. I was tired of feeling rushed, tired of starting my day on the defensive, and honestly just tired of being tired. I'd read somewhere that waking up early could shift your whole perspective, give you a head start on the day, a chance to breathe before the chaos kicked in. It sounded almost too good to be true, but I was desperate enough to try. So, I set my alarm for 5 a.m., half expecting to hate every second of it. Spoiler alert, I didn't. Well, not after the first couple of days anyway. Day 1, the brutal wake-up call. That first morning? Oh man, it was rough. The alarm blared at 5 a.m., and I swear it felt like a personal attack. My body screamed, "Go back to sleep!" And my brain chimed in with every excuse in the book. "You don't need this. You're fine the way you are. 5 more minutes won't hurt." But I'd made a promise to myself just 1 week. So, I dragged myself out of bed, bleary-eyed and grumpy, stumbling into the kitchen like a zombie. I made a cup of coffee, not because I wanted to enjoy it, but because I needed it to survive. But then something unexpected happened. As I stood there, sipping that coffee in the dim glow of my kitchen, I noticed the silence. It wasn't just quiet, it was still. The world outside was asleep. No cars honking, no phones buzzing, no demands pulling me in a million directions. It was just me, the coffee, and this strange, peaceful emptiness. I didn't do much that first morning, just sat there, letting the stillness sink in. And you know what? It wasn't half bad. Felt intentional, like I'd claimed a little pocket of time that belonged only to me. Pushing through, the magic starts to unfold. The next few days were a battle. Day 2, I hit snooze once, okay, twice, but I still got up. Day 3, I almost caved entirely. My bed was calling my name like a siren song, but I kept going, and by the 4th day, something clicked. I woke up, and instead of dread, I felt a tiny spark of curiosity. What could I do with this time? How could I make it mine? That's when I started experimenting. And oh boy, did it open up a whole new world. I began with light exercise, nothing crazy, just some stretching to shake off the grogginess. I'd roll out a yoga mat in my living room, the pre-dawn light barely creeping through the curtains, and move my body for 15 minutes. It wasn't about burning calories or building muscle. It was about waking up my senses. The stretch of my hamstrings, the slow roll of my shoulders, the deep breaths filling my lungs. It was like a gentle nudge to my body saying, "Hey, we're alive. Let's do this." And the best part? No gym crowds, no pressure, just me and the quiet. After that, I'd sit down for a few minutes of meditation. Now, if you told me a year ago I'd be meditating at 5:30 a.m., I'd have laughed in your face. I thought meditation was for monks or people with way more patience than me. But I kept it simple. 5 minutes, eyes closed, focusing on my breath. Some days my mind raced. Work stress, grocery lists, random song lyrics, but I didn't fight it. I just let the thoughts come and go, like clouds drifting across the sky. Over time, those 5 minutes became a reset button, a way to clear the mental clutter before the day even began. Then came the planning. I'd grab a notebook and jot down 3 things I wanted to focus on that day. Not a massive to-do list, just 3 priorities. It could be finish that report, call mom, or even take a walk at lunch. Writing it down made it real, gave me a roadmap. And because I wasn't rushing, I could think it through calmly. No last-minute panic scribbles as I ran out the door. This little ritual exercise, meditation, planning, turned my mornings into something sacred. I wasn't just waking up early. I was starting early on my terms. The unexpected gift, stillness and gratitude. By the end of that first week, I was hooked. But it wasn't just the extra time that got me. It was the way those early hours made me feel. There's something magical about being awake when the world's still dreaming. The air feels crisper, the silence feels deeper, and everything slows down just enough for you to notice it. One morning, I took my coffee out to my balcony and watched the sunrise. I'm not kidding when I say it was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. The sky shifted from inky black to soft purple, then burst into streaks of orange and pink. I stood there, mug in hand, feeling this overwhelming sense of gratitude for the day ahead, for the quiet, for just being alive. That sunrise wasn't a one-off either. It became a symbol of what waking up early gave me. A chance to pause and appreciate the little things I'd always rushed past. The chirping of the first birds, the cool morning breeze, the way the light painted my apartment in soft gold. It was like nature was putting on a private show just for me. And that gratitude, it didn't stay on the balcony. It followed me into my day, making me more patient, more present, more grounded. The ripple effect, control, calm, and confidence. Here's where it gets really good. Waking up early didn't just give me extra hours, it gave me control. Before, my days felt like a runaway train, and I was just hanging on for dear life. But now, I was the conductor. I wasn't reacting to the world, I was setting the pace. That unrushed start meant I could enjoy my breakfast, a real one. Not a granola bar in the car, sip my coffee slowly, and walk into my day with a clear head. No more frantic mornings. No more, "Where are my keys?" meltdowns. I was organized, calm, and, dare I say it, confident. That sense of control spilled over everywhere. At work, I tackled tasks with focus because I'd already set my intentions. With friends, I was more engaged because I wasn't mentally replaying a chaotic morning. Even my stress levels dropped. Not because life got easier, but because I had this buffer of calm to lean on. And the best part? I started to trust myself. Sticking to 5 a.m., pushing past the groggy days, proving I could do it. It built this quiet confidence that I could handle whatever came my way. Making it work. Practical tips for your own early rise. Okay, so maybe you're thinking, this sounds great, but how do I actually do it? I get it. Waking up early isn't a switch you flip and magically become a morning person. It's a process, and I've got some real, raw tips to help you ease into it. First, start small. If you usually wake up at 8 a.m., don't jump straight to 5 a.m. Try 7:30 for a few days, then 7, then 6:30. Give your body time to adjust. Second, Set yourself up the night before. Lay out your clothes, prep your coffee, put your alarm across the room so you have to get up to turn it off. Trust me, that little trick saved me more than once. Third, find your why. For me, it was about reclaiming my day, but yours might be different. More time with family, a quiet space to create, or just a chance to breathe. Whatever it is, hold on to it when the snooze button tempts you. And finally, give yourself grace. Some days you'll oversleep. Some days you'll hate it. That's okay. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Even one early morning a week is a win you can build on. A week that changed everything. That first week of waking up at 5 a.m., it wasn't just a test run, it was a turning point. By day 7, I wasn't dragging myself out of bed anymore. I was excited to meet the morning. The stillness, the rituals, the gratitude. It all added up to a shift I never saw coming. I felt more in tune with myself, more intentional about my time, and honestly, more alive. And the crazy thing? It didn't stop there. This habit became the foundation for everything else I'll share with you. The exercise, the journaling, all of it flowed from this one choice. So here's my challenge to you. Try it. Just for 1 week. Set that alarm. Embrace the quiet, and see what those early hours unlock for you. Maybe you'll watch a sunrise that takes your breath away. Maybe you'll find a pocket of peace you didn't know you needed. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll discover a version of yourself that's been waiting to wake up. I'd love to hear how it goes. Drop a comment, share your story. Let's keep this journey going together. Because if I can go from snooze button champion to sunrise chaser, I promise you can too. See you at 5 a.m. or whenever you're ready to start. Habit 2. Daily exercise. Moving my body, transforming my life. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into the second habit that turned my world around in just 1 week. Daily exercise. Now, if you're anything like I used to be, the word exercise might make you cringe a little or a lot. I get it. I was the queen of excuses. I'm too tired. I don't have time. I'll start tomorrow maybe. But then I made a promise to myself to move my body every single day for just 20 minutes. And let me tell you, it was a total game changer. This isn't about becoming a fitness guru or running marathons. It's about small, intentional steps that boosted my energy, lifted my mood, and even gave me a quiet kind of confidence I didn't know I had. So, grab a seat, maybe a water bottle, and let's talk about how daily exercise became my secret weapon for a better life. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this one. The before, a sedentary life and a million excuses. Let's rewind a bit. Before this habit took root, I wasn't exactly what you'd call active. My days were a blur of sitting, at my desk, on the couch, in my car. Exercise felt like this big, intimidating thing that other people did, the ones with gym memberships and perfect running form. Me? I'd rather binge watch a show or scroll through my phone than lace up sneakers. I'd tell myself I was too busy, too exhausted, or my favorite, I'll get to it when I'm less stressed. Spoiler, that magical stress-free day never came. But deep down, I knew something had to give. I felt sluggish all the time, like my body was stuck in slow motion. My mood wasn't much better. Little things would set me off, and I'd snap at people I cared about without meaning to. I'd look in the mirror and think, where'd my energy go? It wasn't just physical, it was mental, emotional, a whole mess of blah. So one day I decided enough was enough. I didn't need to climb mountains or lift cars. I just needed to move. I set a simple goal, 20 minutes a day, every day, for 1 week. No pressure, no perfection, just motion. And oh man, did it open my eyes. Day 1, small steps, big doubts. That first day, I'll be honest, it was awkward. I didn't know where to start, so I picked something easy. A brisk walk around my neighborhood. I threw on some old sneakers, popped in my earbuds, and headed out. The first 5 minutes felt like torture. My legs were stiff, my breath was shallow, and my brain kept whispering, "Why are you even doing this?" But I kept going, one step at a time. By the end of those 20 minutes, I wasn't exactly glowing with pride, but I wasn't miserable either. I felt awake, not transformed, not yet, but like I'd shaken off a layer of rust. The key was keeping it small and fun. I didn't want to burn out or bore myself to death, so I mixed it up over the week. One day, I jog. Nothing fast, just a light shuffle to get my heart pumping. The next, I try some strength moves, squats, push-ups, whatever I could manage without feeling like a total newbie. And then there was yoga, which I'll get to in a minute because, wow, that was a revelation. The point was to keep it interesting, to trick myself into sticking with it. And you know what? It worked. The shift, energy, mood, and a new kind of me. By day 3, something incredible started to happen. I woke up, not bouncing out of bed like some fitness ad, but with a little more pep than usual. My body didn't feel like a lead weight anymore. It felt lighter, looser. After my 20-minute jog that morning, I noticed my mood wasn't as heavy either. The usual irritability? Gone. I didn't snap at my roommate over dirty dishes. Instead, I just laughed it off. It was like those 20 minutes had flushed out the grumpiness and replaced it with calm. Who knew moving could do that? And the energy, oh, the energy. I used to crash by mid-afternoon, reaching for coffee like it was a lifeline. But after a few days of daily exercise, I had this steady hum of vitality running through me. It wasn't jittery or forced, it was natural, like my body was finally running on the right fuel. I'd finish my little workout and feel this quiet buzz, like I could take on the day without dragging my feet. It wasn't just physical either, it was mental. My focus sharpened, my patience grew, and I started to feel like I was in the driver's seat of my own life again. Then there was the confidence. This one snuck up on me. It wasn't about looking different, though I did notice my posture getting better. It was about feeling different. Every time I finished those 20 minutes, I'd think, I did that. I showed up for myself. It was a small win, but it stacked up. Day after day, I proved I could commit, push past the excuses, and take care of me. That confidence didn't stay in my workout clothes. It followed me into meetings, conversations, even tough moments. I stood a little taller, spoke a little clearer, trusted myself a little more. All from 20 minutes a day. Wild, right? Turning exercise into self-care. My aha moment. Here's where it gets personal. About halfway through the week, I realized this wasn't just about moving my body. It was about reclaiming my time, my space, my sanity. Exercise stopped being a chore and started being self-care. Those 20 minutes became my daily gift to myself. A break from the noise of the world. No emails, no deadlines, no expectations. Just me, my breath, and the rhythm of my own movement. It was like hitting pause on life's chaos and saying, this is for me. One morning stands out in my memory. I went for a jog. It was crisp outside, the air cool against my skin, leaves crunching under my feet. As I ran, I let my mind wander. No playlist, no distractions, just the sound of my steps and the world waking up around me. I felt this rush of freedom, like I was untethered from everything weighing me down. My worries, work stress, a fight with a friend, didn't disappear, but they shrank, became manageable. That jog wasn't about burning calories. It was about reconnecting with myself. I came home sweaty, smiling, and more at peace than I'd been in weeks. That's when I got it. Exercise isn't punishment. It's not about forcing yourself into some ideal shape or proving something to anyone. It's about feeling good, really, truly good in your own skin. It's a way to say, I'm worth this time. And once I saw it that way, I couldn't unsee it. Those 20 minutes became sacred, a daily ritual I looked forward to instead of dreading. Discovering yoga, a quiet revolution. Okay, let's talk about yoga, because this was the unexpected star of the show. I'd always thought yoga was for bendy people who drank green smoothies and chanted in Sanskrit, not for a stiff, skeptical newbie like me. But I'd promised myself variety. So one day, I rolled out a mat and followed a beginner video online. I wobbled through the poses, felt ridiculous trying to downward dog, and laughed at myself more than once. But by the end, I was hooked. Yoga wasn't just exercise, it was a bridge between my body and mind. The slow stretches, the focus on breathing, the way it forced me to be present. It was like meditation in motion. One session, I remember hitting this pose called child's pose. Knees tucked, forehead to the mat, arms stretched out, and just staying there. My breath deepened, my shoulders softened, and for the first time in forever, I felt my body relax. Really relax. No tension, no rush, just peace. I didn't need to be flexible or perfect. I just needed to show up. Over the week, yoga became my go-to on tough days. If I was stressed, I'd flow through a few poses and feel the knots unwind. If I was tired, I'd do something gentle and feel my energy creep back. It taught me to listen to my tight hips, my shallow breath, my racing thoughts, and respond with kindness. That connection, that quiet calm, was something I didn't know I was missing until I found it. Yoga didn't just move my body, it grounded my spirit. And honestly, it's one of the biggest reasons I've kept this habit going. The ripple effect beyond the 20 minutes. By the end of that week, daily exercise wasn't just a checkmark on my list. It was a lifeline. Physically, I felt stronger. My legs didn't ache climbing stairs. My arms could carry groceries without complaint. But the real magic was deeper. My mood lifted, not in a fake, forced way, but in a steady, I've got this kind of way. I stopped reaching for snacks out of boredom because I had this outlet for my restless energy. Even my sleep got better. Turns out, moving your body makes it easier to wind down at night. And the best part? It didn't feel like work, because I started small and kept it fun. It never became this overwhelming thing I had to fit in. It was just 20 minutes. Less time than I'd spend scrolling Instagram, and it gave me back so much more. I'd finish a session and feel proud, not drained. I catch myself smiling for no reason, just because I felt good. It was like I'd unlocked a hidden reserve of joy I didn't know I had. How to start? Tips from my messy, beautiful journey. So, how do you make this happen for yourself? I've got you covered with some real, no BS tips. First, start small. Seriously, 20 minutes is plenty. You don't need a gym or fancy gear. A walk, some stretches, or a YouTube workout will do. Second, mix it up. Try jogging one day, yoga the next, maybe dance around your living room if that's your vibe. Keep it fresh so you don't quit. Third, focus on how it feels, not how it looks. The goal isn't a six-pack. It's energy, calm, confidence. Stuff you can't see in a mirror but changes everything. Fourth, tie it to something you love. Pair your walk with a podcast, your stretches with music, your jog with sunrise views. Make it a treat, not a task. And finally, be kind to yourself. Some days you'll skip it. Some days 20 minutes will feel like 20 hours. That's okay. Just get back to it when you can. No guilt, no pressure. This is about you, not some rigid rulebook. It's a week that rewrote my story. That week of daily exercise, it wasn't just a habit, it was a wake-up call. By day 7, I wasn't just moving my body. I was living in it, fully, intentionally. I had more energy to give, more patience to share, more belief in myself. It turned I can't into I will, one 20-minute chunk at a time. And the coolest part? It set the stage for everything else. Better mornings, clearer thoughts, a stronger me. So here's my invite. Give it a shot. Commit to 20 minutes a day, just for a week. Walk, jog, stretch, dance, whatever moves you. Feel the energy creep in, the mood lift, the peace settle. Share your story with me. I'd love to hear what you discover. Because if a former couch potato like me can fall in love with moving, I know you can too. Let's keep this going, one step, one breath, one beautiful day at a time. Habit 3. Journaling, the 10-minute ritual that unlocked my mind. Hey there. Welcome back to this journey of transformation. Today, we're diving into habit number 3, journaling. Now, if you'd told me a while back that sitting down with a notebook for 10 minutes a night could change my life, I'd have raised an eyebrow and said, yeah, right? I wasn't the journaling type, whatever that even means. I thought it was for people with endless free time or a flair for poetic soul-searching. Not for someone like me with a busy brain and a messy life. But then I gave it a shot, just 1 week of scribbling my thoughts before bed. And holy cow, it turned into so much more than I expected. It became my safe space, my clarity machine, my cheerleader. So, grab a cozy spot, maybe a pen if you're feeling inspired, and let's unpack how journaling flipped my perspective and lit up my path. You're gonna want to hear this one. The skeptics start why I doubted journaling. Let's rewind to the before me. I'd see people talk about journaling on YouTube, in books, wherever, and I'd think, who has time for that? My days were packed with work, errands, and the usual chaos of life. By night, I was either zoned out on my phone or crashing into bed, too tired to even think straight. Writing about my day, it sounded like homework, and I'd barely passed English class as it was. Plus, I wasn't sure what I'd even say. My life felt too ordinary for some fancy diary. But then I hit a wall. I was feeling stuck. Emotionally, mentally, all of it. My thoughts were a jumbled mess, looping around the same worries, frustrations, and what-ifs with no exit. I'd lie awake at night, replaying conversations or stressing about tomorrow, with no way to untangle it all. That's when I stumbled across the idea of journaling again. This time, not as some artsy hobby, but as a way to dump the clutter in my head. I figured, okay, 10 minutes. I can do that. If it's dumb, I'll quit. So, I grabbed a cheap notebook, a pen that didn't even match, and gave it a go. No pressure, no rules, just me and the page. And night one, the awkward blank page. That first night, I sat on my bed, staring at this empty notebook like it was a test I hadn't studied for. What was I supposed to write? Dear Diary, today was fine, felt ridiculous. So, I started simple. Today was hectic. Work sucked. I'm tired. Not exactly Shakespeare, but it was honest. Then I kept going, what made work suck? Why was I tired? Before I knew it, 10 minutes had passed, and I'd filled half a page with a rambling mess of thoughts. It wasn't pretty, but it felt good. Like I dumped a bag of mental junk onto the paper and could finally breathe. I didn't stop there, though. I wrote about a tiny thing that made me smile, a coworker's dumb joke, and a worry nagging at me. A deadline I wasn't sure I'd hit. It was raw, unpolished, and real. When I closed the notebook, I didn't feel magically fixed, but I did feel lighter. Like I'd handed some of my chaos to the page instead of carrying it to sleep with me. That was the spark. I didn't know it yet, but I was onto something. The shift. Seeing myself in the words. By the third night, journaling wasn't just a brain dump anymore. It was a mirror. I started writing about more than just my day. I'd jot down how I felt. Stressed, happy, lost. What I wanted, a promotion, a weekend away. What scared me, failing, letting people down. And what I was grateful for, coffee, a sunny day, my dog. Those 10 minutes turned into this quiet little ritual. A space where I could be 100% me, no filters, no judgment. That's when I noticed something wild. Patterns. I'd flip back through the pages and see the same worries popping up, over and over, like a broken record. I'm not good enough at work. I'm too tired to keep up. What if I mess this up? Seeing it in black and white was a wake-up call. These weren't facts. They were stories I kept telling myself. And once I saw them, I could start to question them. Was I really not good enough? Or was I just overwhelmed? Was I always tired? Or was I just not giving myself a break? Journaling didn't solve everything, but it gave me a flashlight to see through the fog. It also helped me process the big feelings. One night, I'd had a rough day, snapped at a friend, bombed a presentation, the works. I sat down and let it all spill out. The guilt, the embarrassment, the anger at myself. I wrote until my hand cramped, asking, why did this hit me so hard? What can I do next time? By the end, I wasn't raging anymore. I was calm. I'd worked through it step by step on the page. It was like therapy, but free and on my terms. I went to bed not hating myself, and that was huge. Tracking the wins. Small victories, big motivation. Here's where it gets even better. After a few days, I started adding little wins to my entries. Stuff I'd normally brush off. Finished that report early. Took a walk instead of scrolling. Didn't lose it when traffic sucked. They weren't earth-shattering, but writing them down made them real. I'd look back and think, hey, I'm doing okay. I'm moving forward. It was like collecting evidence that I wasn't just spinning my wheels. I was growing, even if it was slow. One night, I wrote about a presentation I'd been dreading. I'd prepped hard, nailed it, and felt this quiet pride afterward. Seeing that victory on paper, next to the fear I'd written about days before, was a boost I didn't expect. It wasn't just, yay, I did it. It was, look how far I've come. That's the magic of journaling. It tracks your progress when you're too busy to notice. Those small wins stacked up, and suddenly, I had this fuel to keep going, to push a little harder, to believe in myself a little more. I also started a gratitude section. 3 things I was thankful for each day. Sounds cheesy, but it worked. One night, it was a hot shower, my sister's text, the smell of rain. Simple stuff, but writing it shifted my focus. Instead of obsessing over what went wrong, I ended my day on what went right. Over time, that gratitude became a habit. I'd catch myself noticing good moments in real time, not just at night. It didn't erase the hard stuff, but it balanced it, made it bearable. The tool I didn't know I needed. By the end of that week, journaling wasn't just something I did. It was something I craved. Those 10 minutes became my anchor, a way to untangle the mess in my head and make sense of who I was. It was self-reflection on steroids. I'd sit down scattered and stand up clearer. I'd see my goals, big ones like save for a trip, and small ones like drink more water, and actually start chasing them because they were real now, not just vague ideas. I'd face my fears, failure, rejection, the unknown, and realize they weren't as scary on paper as they were in my mind. One entry sticks with me. I'd had a random moment of kindness. A stranger helped me carry a heavy bag when I was struggling. I wrote about it, how it caught me off guard, how it made me feel seen. That gratitude sparked something. I wanted to pass it on. The next day, I held the door for someone, smiled at a cashier, little things. Journaling didn't just show me who I was. It nudged me toward who I wanted to be. It was like a compass, pointing me toward clarity, purpose, and a quieter kind of strength. At the raw moments when it got real. And not every night was profound. Some were messy, and that's okay. One time, I just scribbled, I don't know what I'm doing. Everything's a mess. I'm scared. No neat conclusions, no silver lining, just truth. But even that was powerful. Getting it out stopped it from festering. Another night, I wrote a stream of nonsense. Half sentences, doodles, pure chaos because my brain wouldn't settle. And you know what? It still helped. It wasn't about perfection. It was about release. The page didn't judge me, didn't demand answers, it just listened. That's the beauty of journaling. It meets you where you are. Happy? Write it. Lost? Write it. Angry? Let it rip. It's a space where you can be unfiltered, where the masks come off. For me, it became a lifeline on the hard days and a celebration on the good ones. It didn't fix my life, but it gave me a way to navigate it, one scribbled line at a time. Tips to start, making it yours. So how do you jump in? Here's what worked for me, straight from the trenches. First, keep it simple, 10 minutes, a basic notebook, any pen. No apps, no fancy leather journals, unless that's your thing. Second, start with what's on your mind, good, bad, boring, whatever. Today was okay is a fine start. Third, try prompts if you're stuck. What made me feel something today? What's one thing I want tomorrow? What am I grateful for? It's not a test, no one's grading you. Fourth, don't overthink it. Spelling mistakes, messy handwriting, half-baked thoughts, all fair game. This is for you, not a bestseller list. And finally, look back sometimes. After a few days, flip through and see what pops out. Patterns, wins, shifts. It's like a map of your own mind, and it'll surprise you what you find. Oh, and give yourself permission to skip a night if you're wiped. Just don't let it derail you. Pick it up the next day, no guilt. The week that rewrote my inner world. That week of journaling wasn't just a habit. It was a breakthrough. By night 7, I wasn't just writing. I was understanding. I saw my fears shrink, my goals sharpen, my gratitude grow. Those 10 minutes gave me clarity I didn't know I could find. About myself, my days, my life. It turned chaos into order, doubt into direction, and tiny steps into momentum. I closed my notebook feeling lighter, stronger, more me. So here's my nudge. Try it. Grab a pen, set a timer, and see what spills out. Write about your day, your dreams, your worries, your wins, anything. Let it be messy, let it be real. Tell me how it goes. I'd love to hear your story, because if a skeptic like me can find peace in a notebook, I know you can too. Let's keep this going, one page, one night, one honest word at a time. Habit 4. Mindful eating, the simple shift that transformed my meals and my life. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving into habit number 4, mindful eating. Now, if you're picturing me sitting cross-legged, chanting over a kale salad, let me stop you right there. This isn't that. I used to be the poster child for mindless munching, eating on the go, scrolling my phone, barely tasting what was in my mouth. Meals were just fuel, something to get through while I multitasked my way through life. But then I tried eating with intention for 1 week, and wow, it was like waking up to a whole new world. It's not just about food. It's about reclaiming a piece of my day, my health, my peace. So, grab a snack if you want. No judgment here. Get comfy, and let's talk about how mindful eating turned my rushed bites into moments of joy. You're gonna love this one. The chaos before eating without thinking. Let's set the scene. Before this habit, my eating habits were a hot mess. Breakfast, a granola bar shoved in my bag as I ran out the door. Lunch, wolfed down at my desk while answering emails. Dinner, plopped on the couch, phone in one hand, fork in the other, half watching TV. I'd finish a meal and barely remember what I ate. Did it even taste good? Who knows? I was always distracted, always rushing, always on to the next thing before I'd even swallowed my last bite. Sound familiar? It wasn't just the pace either. I'd eat until I was stuffed, not because I was hungry, but because I wasn't paying attention. Chips while working, ice cream while scrolling, food was my autopilot comfort, not something I enjoyed. And the aftermath? Bloated, sluggish, guilty. My digestion wasn't happy, my energy tanked, and my relationship with food? Let's just say it was more frenemies than friends. I knew something had to change, but I didn't want a diet or a rule book. I wanted something real. That's when I stumbled onto mindful eating. No calorie counting, no restrictions, just presence. I figured, 1 week, I can try that. And oh man, did it flip the script. Day 1. A quiet table and a nervous start. That first night, I decided to start with dinner. I set a little scene, cleared my kitchen table, usually a dumping ground for mail, put my phone in another room, turned off the TV. It felt weird, almost too quiet, like I was about to meditate instead of eat. I made something simple, pasta with veggies, nothing fancy, and sat down. Before digging in, I took a few deep breaths, just to settle myself. Then I took my first bite. No scrolling, no noise, just me and the plate. Here's where it got interesting. I actually tasted it, the tang of the tomato sauce, the crunch of the peppers, the softness of the noodles. Stuff I'd eaten 100 times before suddenly felt alive. I chewed slowly, not because I had to, but because I wanted to. I noticed the flavors mixing, the warmth of the food, even the sound of my fork against the plate. It was like eating in high definition. By the end, I wasn't stuffed, I was satisfied. And weirdly, I felt calm. That one meal showed me what I'd been missing. Food could be more than fuel. It could be an experience. The shift, savoring every bite. Over the next few days, I leaned into it. Every meal, I ditched the distractions, no phone, no laptop, no background noise. I'd sit down, take a breath, and focus. Lunch became a mini event. A sandwich wasn't just bread and stuff. It was the crisp lettuce, the creamy avocado, the slight saltiness of the cheese. Breakfast, even just oatmeal, turned into this cozy ritual. The smooth texture, the sweet drizzle of honey, the way it warmed me up from the inside. I started noticing things I'd never paid attention to before, like how a ripe strawberry popped with flavor or how a carrot snapped when I bit into it. This wasn't just about taste, though, it was about tuning in. I'd pause mid-meal and check in. Am I still hungry? Do I need more? For the first time, I could hear my body's signals. Before, I'd plow through a plate and keep going until I was uncomfortable. Now, I'd stop when I felt full, not stuffed, just content. It was a game changer. I naturally ate less, not because I was trying, but because I was listening. And the choices? They shifted too. Heavy, greasy stuff left me sluggish, so I leaned toward fresher options, veggies, fruits, whole grains, because they felt better. It wasn't a diet. It was a preference born from awareness. The payoff, satisfaction, digestion, and a new connection. By day 4, I couldn't believe the difference. Satisfaction was the big one. I'd finish a meal and feel good, not deprived or overdone. A small bowl of soup could leave me just as happy as a giant pizza used to, because I'd savored every spoonful. It was like my brain finally caught up with my stomach, saying, "Hey, we're good here." That fullness wasn't just physical, it was emotional. I didn't need to chase the next bite or snack out of habit. I was full in a deeper way. Then there was digestion. I used to feel bloated after almost every meal, puffy, tired, like my body was mad at me. But eating slowly without the chaos changed that. My stomach had time to process, no longer shocked by a rushed onslaught of food. I'd finish lunch and feel light, not like I needed a nap. It was such a relief. No more ugh. Why did I eat that? Moments. My body thanked me with energy instead of complaints, and I started trusting it more, respecting what it needed. The real magic, though, my relationship with food flipped. It went from this mindless habit, something I did to cope or kill time, to something I enjoyed, even cherished. One morning, I had a simple apple, just an apple, and I sat there, biting into it, noticing the crispness, the juice, the subtle sweetness. It wasn't a chore or a healthy choice. It was a moment. Food stopped being the enemy or a quick fix. It became a partner, something that nourished me inside and out. That shift wasn't just about meals. It was about how I saw myself. The raw moments, facing the emotional ties. A mindful eating also peeled back some layers I didn't expect. I started noticing why I ate not just hunger, but feelings. One night, I caught myself reaching for cookies after a stressful call. Normally, I'd devour them without a thought. But this time, I paused. Was I hungry? No. Was I upset? Yup. Instead of eating, I sat with it, breathed, wrote it down, thanks, journaling habit, let it pass. Another day, I craved ice cream after a long day, not for the taste, but for the comfort. I had a small scoop, savored it, and stopped. No guilt, no binge, just awareness. Those moments were gold. They showed me food wasn't the problem, my habits were. Eating mindfully didn't erase cravings or emotions, but it gave me a choice. Feel it or feed it. Most times I'd pick something else. A walk, a chat, a cup of tea, and feel better for it. It wasn't about willpower. It was about understanding. That's when I knew this wasn't just a week-long trick. It was a way to live. A standout memory, the oatmeal epiphany. One morning sticks with me. I made oatmeal basic, nothing special. Normally, I'd scarf it down while checking my phone, barely registering it. But this time, I sat at my table, no distractions, and took it slow. I stirred in a little honey, watched it melt into the oats, took a bite. The creaminess, the warmth, the faint sweetness. It hit me all at once. I ate it spoonful by spoonful, feeling grateful for the food, the quiet, the moment. It wasn't just oatmeal. It was a tiny celebration. That's mindful eating, turning the ordinary into something extraordinary, just by paying attention. Tips to start. Making it real for you. Ready to try it? Here's how I made it work straight from my trial and error. First, ditch the distractions. Phone away, TV off, laptop closed. Make your meal the star. Second, set the scene. Clear a space, sit down, make it intentional. It doesn't have to be fancy. A plate on your counter works. Third, start with one bite. Taste it, feel it, notice it. Let that set the pace. Fourth, check in mid-meal. Am I full? Do I want more? Listen to your body, not the clock. Fifth, keep it simple at first. One meal a day is enough. Breakfast, lunch, whatever feels doable. And finally, enjoy it. No pressure to be perfect. If you sneak a peek at your phone, laugh it off and refocus. This isn't a rule. It's a practice. Oh, and bonus tip. Try it with something you love, a favorite dish, a treat. It's easier to savor what you already enjoy. A week that redefined food for me. That week of mindful eating wasn't just a habit. It was a revelation. By day 7, I wasn't just eating. I was experiencing. Meals became moments of calm in a stormy world. I felt satisfied without overdoing it. My body hummed with energy instead of groaning. And food turned into a friend, not a fight. It gave me a way to slow down, tune in, and care for myself in a way I'd never thought possible. So here's my challenge. Give it a go. Pick one meal, turn off the noise, and taste it, really taste it. See what shifts, what you notice, how it feels. Drop me a comment. I'd love to hear your story, because if a former speed eater like me can find peace in a bite, I know you can too. Let's keep this going, one mindful mouthful at a time. Habit 5. Limiting screen time, the digital detox that brought me back to life. Hey there, welcome back. Today we're wrapping up with habit number 5. Limiting screen time. If you're anything like I was, your phone, laptop, or TV might feel like an extra limb. Always there, always on, always pulling you in. I used to spend hours scrolling, binge watching, or catching up online, thinking it was harmless downtime. But then I set a boundary, just 1 hour of non-work screen time a day for a week, and holy moly, it was like waking up from a trance. This wasn't just about cutting back. It was about reclaiming my time, my mind, my life. So, grab a cozy spot, maybe put your phone down for a sec, and let's dive into how stepping away from screens became my ticket to a clearer, calmer, more connected me. You're gonna want to stick around for this. The before, a screen-soaked life. Picture this. My days were a blur of screens. Morning, checking emails and Instagram before my feet hit the floor. Work, staring at a laptop all day. Fair enough, it's my job. Evenings, couch, Netflix, phone in hand, scrolling through X or TikTok until my eyes burned. Bedtime? You guessed it. More scrolling, videos looping until I passed out. I'd tell myself it was relaxing, but I'd end up wired, restless, or weirdly empty. My free time vanished into a digital black hole, and I didn't even notice how much it was costing me. It wasn't just the time, though. My head felt foggy. Too much news, too many opinions, too many perfect lives to compare mine to. I'd snap at people over nothing. My sleep was trash, and I couldn't remember the last time I'd felt truly present. I'd try to read a book or cook something fun, but my phone would call me back like a needy friend. I knew screens were running the show, and I was tired of it, literally and figuratively. So I set a rule, 1 hour a day for non-work stuff. No excuses, no cheats, just a week to see what happened. Spoiler, it was tough, but it was everything. Day 1, the withdrawal was real. That first day felt like detox. I set my limit, 60 minutes for fun screen time, and tracked it with an app. Ironic, right? Work stuff didn't count, but everything else, social media, shows, random browsing, did. By noon, I'd already burned 20 minutes on X, just out of habit. I caught myself reaching for my phone every 5 seconds. What's the weather? Who liked my post? What's trending? It was ridiculous how automatic it was. By evening, I had 40 minutes left, so I watched a quick show and called it quits. Then, silence. That silence hit hard. No buzz, no glow, just me and an empty room. I felt antsy, like I'd forgotten something. My brain screamed, check something, watch something. But I'd made a promise, so I grabbed a book I'd been meaning to read for months. Some dusty novel from my shelf. I got through 5 pages before my mind wandered. But it was a start. That night, I went to bed screen-free. No late-night scroll, just a dim lamp and my thoughts. I tossed a bit, but I slept deeper than I had in weeks. Day 1 wasn't pretty, but it planted a seed. The shift, time opens up. By day 3, something clicked. I'd used my hour early, some YouTube over lunch, and then I was done. No more mindless scrolling, no late-night marathons. Suddenly, my day had space. I didn't realize how much screens had eaten up until I cut them back. Those extra hours felt like a gift, and I started filling them with stuff I'd forgotten I loved. Reading turned into a ritual, curling up with that novel, actually getting lost in it. One afternoon, I dug out an old sketchbook and doodled, Nothing fancy, just lines and shapes, but it felt good to create again. Cooking was the big surprise. I used to slap together meals while half watching TV, but now I had time to play. One night, I made a curry from scratch, chopping veggies, stirring spices, tasting as I went. No rush, no distractions, just me and the stove. The smell filled my kitchen, and when I sat down to eat, mindfully, thanks to habit 4, it was like a mini triumph. These weren't new hobbies, they were old ones I'd buried under a pile of pixels. Cutting screens didn't just free up time, it freed up me. Sleep gets a glow up. The bedtime shift was huge. Before, I'd take my phone to bed, scrolling X, watching reels, letting the blue light zap my brain awake. I'd fall asleep eventually, but it was shallow, restless, like my mind never fully shut off. With my 1-hour rule, screens were out by 9 p.m. I started a new routine, a book, some stretching, maybe a quick meditation from habit 1. One night, I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, letting my thoughts drift. No glow, no noise, just quiet. The difference? Night and day, pun intended. I fell asleep faster, stayed asleep longer, woke up clearer. No more 2 a.m. haze or groggy mornings. One evening, I swapped my phone for a notepad and jotted down some ideas. Random stuff like a trip I wanted to plan. It was calming, like my brain finally had permission to wind down. Better sleep didn't just recharge me. It made every other habit, waking early, exercising, journaling, easier to stick with. Who knew ditching screens could be a sleep hack? The real win, less anxiety, more presence. Here's where it gets deep. By midweek, I noticed my head felt lighter. No constant ping of notifications, no flood of bad news or curated lives to measure mine against. My anxiety, usually a low hum in the background, started to fade. I wasn't calmer because life got easier. I was calmer because I wasn't drowning in digital noise. One day, I caught myself stressing about work, reached for my phone to escape, then stopped. My hour was up. Instead, I took a walk. Fresh air, real sounds, no screen. The stress didn't vanish, but it shrank, got manageable. Presence was the other gift. Without screens sucking me in, I showed up for conversations, for moments, for myself. I'd chat with a friend and actually hear them, not half listen while scrolling. I'd sit with my coffee and taste it, not gulp it while checking emails. One afternoon, I went to a cafe with just a notebook, no phone, no laptop. I wrote, sketched, watched people pass by. It was peaceful, like I'd stepped out of a fog. I felt connected to my thoughts, my surroundings, the real world, not tethered to a device. A standout moment, the park walk. One evening sealed it for me. Normally, I'd veg out with TV after dinner, but my hour was spent. So, I grabbed my jacket and walked to a nearby park. The sun was setting. The air was cool. Leaves rustled under my feet. No earbuds, no screen, just me and the moment. I sat on a bench, watched the sky turn pink, listened to birds winding down. It hit me. This is what I'd been missing. Not likes or episodes, but this quiet, alive feeling. That walk became a nightly thing. My screen-free reward, a slice of calm I looked forward to. It wasn't flashy, but it was everything. The slips, temptation, and grace. I won't lie, there were hiccups. Day 4, I slipped, sneaking 20 extra minutes on X out of boredom. I felt it, edgy, distracted, like I'd undone my progress. But I didn't beat myself up. I just reset the next day, reminded myself why I was doing this. Not to be perfect, but to feel better. Temptation still popped up. Habit's a beast. But each time, I'd pause, breathe, pick something else. A book, a sketch, a walk. The pull got weaker, the winds got stronger. Tips to start. Making it work for you. Ready to try it? Here's my real deal advice. First, set a clear limit. 1 hour's a good start, but pick what fits you. Use a timer or app if you need it. Second, plan your hour, watch a show, scroll a bit, whatever. But when it's up, it's up. Third, replace the void. Keep a book handy, a sketch pad, ingredients for a recipe. Make it easy to pivot. Fourth, lock screens out of bedtime. Charge your phone across the room. Grab a novel instead. Trust me, your sleep will thank you. Fifth, start small, one screen-free evening, then build. And finally, be kind to yourself. You'll slip, everyone does. Laugh it off, get back to it. This isn't about deprivation. It's about balance. Oh, and bonus, tell someone, a friend, me in the comments. Accountability helps, and I'd love to cheer you on. To week that rewired my world. That week of limiting screen time wasn't just a habit. It was a reset. By day 7, I wasn't just cutting back. I was living more. I had time for books, doodles, meals I cooked with love. My sleep was gold. My anxiety dialed down, and I felt here. Not lost in a feed, but rooted in my own life. It wasn't about banning screens. It was about choosing me over them 1 hour at a time. So here's my invite. Give it a whirl. Cap your screen time for a week. See what opens up: hobbies, rest, real moments. Drop me a note. I'd love to hear what you rediscover. Because if a screen junkie like me can find peace off the grid, I know you can too. Let's keep this going, one unplugged day at a time. All right, everyone. That's a wrap on this journey through 5 habits that turned my life around in just 1 week. From waking up early to savoring the stillness, moving my body every day, journaling my messy thoughts, eating with intention, and cutting back on screens. It's been a wild ride. These aren't just habits. They're little keys that unlocked a version of me I didn't know was waiting. And the best part? They're not about perfection, they're about progress, about showing up for yourself in ways that feel real and right. I've shared my raw, honest stories, the struggles, the breakthroughs, the quiet wins, because I truly believe if they worked for me, they can work for you too. So here's my heartfelt nudge. Pick one. Just one habit that sparks something in you. Maybe it's the peace of a 5 a.m. sunrise, the freedom of a 20-minute jog, or the clarity of a scribbled page. Try it for a week, tweak it to fit your life, and see where it takes you. Small changes stack up, and before you know it, you're not just living, you're thriving. I'd love to hear your stories, your wins, your aha moments. Drop them in the comments below. Your feedback lights up this space and keeps us growing together. And now, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, ZenLight 8 family, for watching all the way through. You're the heartbeat of this channel, the reason I pour my soul into these videos. Every view, every second you spend here, means the world to me. You're not just viewers. You're part of this journey, this community, this quest to live a little lighter, a little truer. If this resonated with you, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and tap the bell so you don't miss what's next. We've got more insights, more stories, more ZenLight magic coming your way. Share this with someone who might need it too. You never know whose day you'll brighten. Thank you, ZenLight 8, for being here, for sticking with me to the end. You're amazing, and I'm so grateful for you. Let's keep this energy going. Small steps, big hearts, one beautiful day at a time. See you in the next video. Stay awesome. Stay you.